Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good
Yes,
afternoon.
sir.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ್ರ ವಾಪಸ್ಸು ಚಹಾ ಕುಡಿದ್ರಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳ್ಸೋದು ಸರಿ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಹಲೋ
ಸರ್
ಎಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡಿ. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope all of you have come back.
Yes,
Had a nice cup of coffee or tea and got refreshed. I do not know how the session was, the first one, and
Good, sir.
it was quite
Wonderful.
like express train. I keep asking a number of questions in the session, but today I have asked only about 3 to 4 questions, as the topic was quite easy in the beginning, but we should have spent more time on the different techniques of brainstorming and different softwares that are available. I'm sorry for that.
That was needed.
Yeah, but the only idea which I have, as some of you said, Shivkumar said, Kavya Kishore said, that it is quite difficult these days to use digital brainstorming in B.Ed colleges. Not necessarily in the colleges. In the future, if there is online or virtual platforms, better to know these virtual platforms and brainstorming tools that can be definitely used. So we need to think of future. We need to be here for another 20, 30 years. We do not know what happens to teacher education or any higher education in the future, as online and virtual platforms are coming up. Now let me welcome each one of you for yet another session. I hope all of you can tolerate me. Same face, same voice, but the topic is different. And I told you earlier, for people from Kumudvati College of Education, Shikaripur, it may be little known, but for all others, it is new. And when they had invited for a technical session, I just went with this kind of model, and it became so famous, and it was thought-provoking. It was a kind of motivational topic for them. So with asking an excuse from Shivkumar, let me just getting into this model. Okay. Now this I would like to call C4 Synaptic Linkage Instructional Model. C4, it's all secret. What is C4 like that? Synaptic Linkage Instructional Model. It sounds good. Some of you may feel that this is a old wine in a new bottle. The name is different, but we are already using it. Of course, we are all using, we are all teaching. But let me tell you with a kind submission that most of us are not very consciously teaching in our classrooms. I'm not talking only about higher education. In total, the total scenario of classroom teaching is becoming meaningless. In the beginning, even today I remember my Kannada medium classrooms in a village government school. Teachers were not neither B.Ed nor M.Ed, no PhD at all, no formal training for them, but they used to teach so well. They used to connect teaching with life. They used to extend classroom teaching and learning beyond classroom 4 walls. We used to learn so many things. They never used to have any modern versions of teaching strategies, but classrooms were so good. But why, with all these technical developments, with all the maturity, with all the high-profile gadgets, we are unable to make our classroom teaching and learning meaningful and complete? So when Shivkumar from Shikaripur requested me to have a session, I thought, let me re-energize, let me reboost, let me try to make all our teaching fraternity conscious about how best they can draw immense pleasure while teaching, making the students derive joy while learning. That is all the more important. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತರಗತಿಯ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶಗಳು, ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಲಿಕೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಯಾಕೆ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ? ಯಾಕೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಕಲಿತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಯಾಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ? ಯಾಕೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು? ಅರ್ಥಹೀನವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಲಿಕೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಯಾಂತ್ರಿಕವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೀಗ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದು ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ, ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಏನ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ? ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ? ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಾತ್ವಿಕವಾಗಿ ಸೈದ್ಧಾಂತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ದೆನ್ ಐ ಕೇಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ದಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ವಿಚ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ with our teacher friends. So I thought, my dear friends, this would be a thought-provoking and something which makes us aware of what is our role ethically. So hagagi nanu, I just thought using this, which is called C4, Synaptic Linkage Instructional Model. In short, it is called SLIM, SLIM. ಹೊಸ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ವರ್ಡ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅಬ್ರಿವೇಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಒಂಥರ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಯಾಚಿಯಾಗಿ ಟೈಟ್ಲ್ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಬಹಳ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಇದು ನಾನೇ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. C4 ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಗೆಸ್ ಅದರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್? C4, ವಾಟ್ C4 ವುಡ್ ಬಿ? Any guess? Wild guess?
Children.
Okay, fine. One more chance to anybody else.
Children, curriculum.
Okay, children, curriculum. Fine, fantastic.
Creativity.
Okay. So nice to hear you, sir.
C for chance to answer the students.
Exactly. Fine, fine. We are all very good.
Collaboration.
Yes, sir. Collaboration, cooperation, creativity. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು 21st century ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸು, ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಈಗ. C4 ಅಂದಾಗ ಮೊದಲು ಇಬ್ರು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು. C ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. C means connectivity. 4 ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4 things are to be connected. I request all of you to just give me your heart and mind for 1 hour. ನೀವೇನೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದ್ರು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು. ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಬೇಡ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ನೀವೇ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ 4 things are connected. That is why C4. Connectivity 1, connectivity 2, connectivity 3 and connectivity 4. So like that, 4 connections are made. Otherwise, teaching learning becomes incomplete. Like when do you say that our family is leading a complete life? ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, your wife is there, you is there, your husband is there, your 2 children are there, 2 or 3, and your parents are there. When do you say that your family is a total family, complete family, meaningful family? When do you say that?
With their giant family.
When all of you are connected mutually. All of you are connected mutually. A father, as a father, is connected to son by blood, but emotionally, socially, intellectually, morally is connected. So that connectivity is missing. Just giving some good education, giving some money, giving some food, giving them shelter is not complete connection. Connectivity stretches beyond all these basic things. So that is what we should listen here now. We should see here. So 4 things are connected. That is why it is called synaptic. Synaptic means the gaps between 2 connections or the places of join. The places of join. The places of connectivity. That is called synaptic. Linkage. Linkage means connections. Instructional model. A model of teaching. So a model of teaching where 4 connectivities are made. And learning has to become sustainable, organic, and physiological. Look, for the first time in my life, I'm using these terms. I do not know whether you give me the credit at the end. Sustainable. So whatever the teachers teach and students learn, it should be sustainable. Anybody knows the meaning of sustainable? Sustainability? Sustainable agriculture, sustainable environment, sustainable economic development.
Long lasting.
Continue with them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Something which should keep continuing, long lasting, having the same quality and quantity. Okay, continue to
Maintaining the quantity,
yes,
quality.
Sir. Yeah, Q plus Q. Then organic. Anybody knows what organic is? Organic chemistry, organic evolution. Organic means basically something which is living, not dead. Something which is breathing, something which is operating, something which is existing with functioning. That is what organic. Organic connection between mother and child. When the embryo or the fetus is growing in the womb of a mother, mother is organically connected with the growing embryo through the umbilical cord or the placenta. So mother is flowing her life into the body of fetus. So the fetus is also living. So both mother and fetus or embryo are organically connected. So life connection is there. Then physiological means anybody knows? So learning should be physiological. Physiological means something which
action.
Is functional. Functional.
By action.
Yeah. Anything that a student learns should be functional at the end. I mean, for example, physiological here with respect to you is we eat food, we breathe air. So where does the air goes? The air goes to lungs and it is absorbed by the blood. The oxygen is carried through the blood to all the cells and tissues, and then only cells and tissues start functioning. On the other hand, we eat food, it goes to stomach, goes to intestine, gets digested in the entire digestive system, absorbed by the blood. The same blood carries the food, nutrition to all the cells and tissues, and the cells and tissues start functioning. That means, dear friends, any air that we breathe, water that we drink, food that we eat, it all should go into our body, gets assimilated, imbibed, absorbed by all your entire cells and tissue and the body system, so that you live continuously. So in the same way, whatever we teach in the class should go into the minds of students, should enter every micro aspect of their body, mind, and spirit. I'm repeating, anything they learn, anything we teach should get into their every micro dimensions, every micro domain of their body, mind, and spirit, and make them functional, live functional, use that to survive. Then only learning becomes complete and meaningful. So that is why when you connect four things, when you are teaching, learning becomes sustainable, means long lasting, organic means living, and functional, that is physiological. This is called C4 Slim SOPL technique. So it's a catchy technique. SOP means, some of you must be knowing that. It's a very usual term that we use. Standard Operational Procedure. Even in NAC, it has come now. Standard Operational Procedure. ಆ ರೀತಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಪರೇಷನಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಲಿಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆದರ್ಶೀಕೃತವಾಗಿ ನಡೀಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ SOPL ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. I hope you appreciate the very title of the unit or topic. And today I have spent around 15 minutes on the title of the topic itself for the first time in my exposure to this HRDC Mysore. So shall we continue now? Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at the end. Okay, fine.
Really, congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, fine. So C4 synaptic linkage instructional model. Learning should become sustainable, organic, physiological. And this is me. Now, you know very well, I don't want to spare more time on these slides. You know all these things. Teaching is a complex human endeavor with passion, dedication, compassion, creativity, and scholarship. Why only these 5 terms? There are many more terms. So without passion, you cannot become a good teacher. Let me tell you. Passion means love towards profession. Dedication. This is very important. A professional teacher always dedicates herself or himself to the profession without doing any other thing in life. So totally dedicated to the profession. Compassion. Compassion means, you know, empathy, sympathy, all these things. Karune, antaradu. So if you don't have compassion on students, you can't teach them with love. Creativity. You cannot be stagnated water. You need to try out different things. That is why today morning in the first session, I suggested you to try out digital brainstorming. Creativity. Keep doing things in a different way. Keep doing novel things. So then scholarship. See, students expect something from you. If you are not a scholarly person, what do you give to them? So that is why keep reading good books, keep involved with good friends, say, grow intellectually. And whenever somebody looks at you, they should feel that here is a man who is a very good teacher. So that kind of intellectual reflections should there be on your face, on your body, on your spirit. It should be reflected in your attitude, the way you talk to others, the professional growth that you have, and the books you write, the topics you speak about, the lectures you give, and how socially you are involved. So such scholarship you should have. So these are the 5 things which are badly required for teaching today. Good teaching links content with the daily existence of teacher and student. So this is linking life with school. So this is what even in 5E model, there is one E which talks about elaboration of content or extending content beyond the classrooms, linking the knowledge with life or using the knowledge to solve the problems of life. That is what application of education is. So most of the teacher and some students, they do not know how to link, how to connect whatever they teach and learn with life situations. That is where the tragedy begins. So in spite of having all the knowledge about values, ethics, we do not use it. So student learns mathematics in the class, but fails to count money in a shop where he went for shopping. So what are the challenges of effective teaching? The main challenge is finding connection that foster motivation. Means what? You need to get connected with the mind and heart of student. Otherwise, they don't get motivated. Now, this is connection. I just want to ask you, dear friends, one thing. Are you connected with your students? Very, very basic thing. Or is it that mechanically you are going to the colleges, teach them in the class according to the timetable, come back without getting connected to them, either mentally or by means of emotions? If you are like that, you cannot be a very good teacher, or we cannot be good, including myself, I'm telling, we cannot be good teachers. So if you want them to get motivated, you need to get connected with them. Thinking. So if you cannot connect topic with their minds, they don't think. Knowledge building. If they don't think, they can't build knowledge. So knowledge building is a dependent variable. Thinking is an independent variable. Motivation is also an independent variable. So if you don't motivate, if you don't allow them to think, if you don't motivate them to think, they can't build knowledge. And your NCF vision 2005 goes waste, where constructivistic, learning is the best learning today. And integration of existing and new information is a must. They also should get connected. But idrella connectivity se barutte. Ondukkondu connection madadale idre, we are not good teachers. And bridges the real and academic world. Ide aagta illa. Real world is outside the class. Academic world is inside the class. Both are not tried out to be connected. They're actually connected. We are not finding the connections. So this is very important, my dear friends. So I'm sorry if I'm little exaggerating and emotional on these things. Okay, you remember this context of constructivism, NCF 2005? The very vision of NCF 2005 is today also, don't make the children in the class just listeners and be the passive recipients of information. Their role is not that. The tragedy is, even in coaching classes or tutorials or PU classes or competitive examination coaching classes, information is just being loaded, transferred without transformation. We believe in transferring of content knowledge. We don't worry about transformation of students. This is the tragedy. And everybody is behind scores. Everybody is behind ranking and getting into good schools and colleges for higher education. So in that context, forgetting transferring, you should always consciously try to transform. So the very basic idea of constructivism, the very basic vision of constructivism was help children use their brains, help children use their minds, motivate them to think independently, then construct their own knowledge. That means whatever you wanted to explain, let them construct it, let them find it out, let them reveal it, let them come out of what you really wanted to convey. So that is what constructivistic environment or classroom is. So children should never be left in the classroom as passive recipients of not even knowledge, it's only information. We are very bad teachers if we are just giving information. We would be better teachers if we attach meaning to the information so that it is transformed into knowledge. We would be much better if knowledge, that is what generated or transferred, is understood, analyzed, interpreted. We will be best teachers if that is converted or transformed into attitude. And we are the most wonderful teachers if that attitude is converted into actions. So information transferred into, transforming into knowledge, then into understanding, then into attitude, then into action, applied action. So then only we can call ourselves as complete teachers and teaching and learning as complete. So once again, I'm repeating, I'm sorry if I'm repeating it again, third time, students should never be passive recipients of information in the class. Andre, ತುಂಬಾ ನೇತ್ಯಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ಬರೀ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗಬಾರದು. Rather, they should be transformed into active producers of new knowledge through their knowledge building. So give them time, ask them questions, allow them to think, let them come out of their ideas. So ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು ಇನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರೇಟರಿ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ಗಳು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಗಳು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರೇಟರಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರಿ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್, heuristic approach. Where all they have gone? Why are they not being used even in higher education sometimes? So earlier ittu eegilla andre, are we not moving towards a tragedy with all the developments? Yenella aagta untu developments nodta iddivi, ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಇದ್ದವನೇ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಸೇ ಫೇಕ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಹಳೆದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಸ ರೂಪ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಹಳೆದನ್ನ ಮರೆಯೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ NCF 2005's main vision is making the students producers of new knowledge, and teachers are only the facilitators. Even the vision of NEP 2020 is that wonderful vision it has. Okay, but there are so many barriers in between. So classroom interactions to be made more productive, and teachers should become facilitators, not just transferers of knowledge through their verbal methods of teaching onto the board and into the notes, and finally to the answer scripts in the examination hall. And ranking is disclosed and people get into jobs. No, that is not fair. And students should become the self-constructors of their own knowledge. And teachers need to be more sensitized with regard to understanding the dynamics of employing constructive teaching strategies, CTS, that lead to refined learning, complete learning, like that. So please understand, our role is different. This by and large says on how well teacher brings about synaptic connectivity in classrooms. Among what? Now, this is the most important slide. Synaptic connectivity and synapse. You know that you have got nervous system. That slide will come later. So you need to connect 4 things, dear friends, or at least 5 things. Self, andre navene, teachers. First, we should get connected to content which we are going to teach. Later, I am going to speak about it. Then we should be connected to learners. Content should be connected to learners. And all the 3 should be connected to the learning context. All the 4 should be connected to curriculum. All the 5 should be connected to classroom environment. Ultimately, all of this should be connected to life in community. Not the sequence. It's a train with bogies. First, I should get connected to content. Then, nana content learners ki content connect. Now, 3 jana learning context ki connect environment. Amelene curriculum transaction chanagirate. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಅದು ಲೈಫಿಗೆ ರಿಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಈ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ನ ನಾವು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸೆಟಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ವೀಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾಜಿಡಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಓಪನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಐಸ್. ಯುವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ್, ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ. ಯುವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಡಿ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಬೋಟ್, ಸೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಬೋಟ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆಲ್ ಶುಡ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಟೈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ಸ್ to bring in meaningful connectivities with all these things. Otherwise, we cannot claim the status of complete teachers. So we shall look into this. Synaptic connectivity involves designing connectivity structures that foster learning linkages. I have given different colors to the important conceptual terms. It involves designing connectivity structures. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಈಗ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಎ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ಯು ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹೌ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಒಂದು ಬೀಮ್ ಅನ್ನು, ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ರೂಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಎ ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ is a connectivity structure which connects floor with the roof. In the same way, we need connectivity structures that connect all those which I just now told. So learning linkages fast agi develop agbeku. Learning linkages andre ಏನು ಇರಬಹುದು? Anybody can predict? Learning linkages. Learning linkages simply means that how one concept
Linkage which
yes.
connectivity between the previous experience and the present content.
Very good, very good. Learning linkages antandre, learning is a comprehensive process which depends on various parameters. Adli un goal anta irbeku, un motivation anta irbeku, learning blocks gal irutte. You know how learning takes place. In psychology teach ಮಾಡೋರ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ how learning is a process anta ಗೊತ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ. Motivation illa andre learning ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Reception illa anta andre registration ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಟ್ರೈವಲ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ರಿಟ್ರೈವಲ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಫ್ನ ನಾವು ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಲೆಸ್. ಸೊ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಲಿಂಕೇಜಸ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್. ಟು ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ವರ್ಡ್ ನೋಡಿ ಇದು. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ಇಟ್. It's a partnership actually. How husband is a partner with a wife. Okay. And how parents are partners with children. How parents and children are partners with grandparents. Then only the holistic nature of a family arises. In the same way, in the class, a teacher is connected to student. As a teacher, I am teaching. As a student is learning. And the enterprise is teaching learning. Ultimate enterprise is education. So in the classroom, me and my student, we are the partners. So ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಕಡೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀತೇವೆ. ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ? ವೈ ಇಸ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ it should be always active, living, not dead. It should be living, constructive, kriyatmaka, active, kriyatmaka, constructive, rachanatmaka. So kriyatmakavagi, iga for example, do you have anti-ragging cell? Yes sir. Do you have anti-woman harassment cell? Yes sir. Do you have student grievance redressal cell? Yes sir. Are they active? No sir. So active means something which keeps continuously functioning. So whether it is 45 minutes or 1 hour, it is actively maintained partnership. Nothing called sleeper partner or sleeping partnership. Please understand. Sleeping partner andre ಏನು ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಮಾತ್ರ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. Don't make your students sleep or don't you yourself sleep. So both should be active. So sleep ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಟರಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ, inactive ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So to promote active teaching learning partnership among students and teachers, both being the stakeholders. ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. Do you feel that only students are getting benefit out of your teaching and learning? No. If we feel like that, we are fools. Remember, by teaching, even I am growing, I am refining. And sometimes students will teach me something which I did not teach them. Sometimes students fill the gaps which we have not thought about earlier. They give the feedback. They make us refined. So on one side, you are helping students to grow. You are giving some advantages to them. And in reverse, in return, even students are helping you to grow. So what is that they are getting? Students with high learning attainment, that is their profit. They learn. So their attainments are becoming high. Attainment and the achievement. And even teachers are growing with improved classroom management. So day by day, year by year, we are refining. So both of us are stakeholders. ನಾವಿಬ್ಬರು ಫಲಾನುಭವಿಗಳೇ, ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಓದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. Synaptic connectivity involves designing connectivity structures that foster learning linkages to promote active teaching learning partnerships among students and teachers who are both stakeholders, where students learn more, achieve more, acquire more knowledge, and teachers become more and more refined classroom teachers. So both are taking the advantage. Both are, like they are using the benefits. As educators, we need to use a wide spectrum of pedagogic strategies and technologies for a meaningful and complete learning. ನಾವು ಅದೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣಗಳು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಕಾರಣ ನಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಆ ಕಡೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ we are all very good saying that it is not possible, it is difficult. It is possible, may be difficult. ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಆ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ we shall use wide spectrum of pedagogic strategies and technologies. How many of us are using more than 10 different techniques in a particular semester? That is my question to you. Okay, anybody is trying out different techniques and strategies?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So ನೀವು ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಅಮ್ಮ? Please, I want everybody to say that yes. Please make a note of it. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು? ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, then what were the objectives, what is the method that you are choosing, what is the rationale behind choosing that method, then what is the learning experience that you are giving, what situations and activities you have conducted in the class, then finally what was the evaluation technique and tool that you used, and what was the outcome, what was the follow-up. All these things should be written and noted in the form of a note. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ನೀವು ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರಿ. ಈ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಇಂತಿಂಥ ಲೆಸನ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಇಂತಿಂಥ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್. NEP ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, CPD. ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಶಿಕಾರಿಪುರದ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆನ್ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೆ, CPD. ಸೊ CPD ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. NEP ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ನೀವೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆಥಡ್ಗಳು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ನ್ಯಾಕ್ನವರು ಅಥವಾ ಅಫಿಲಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾಗಳನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲೂ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಸೆಂಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ನೀವು whenever you use a different technique, please develop a report of 2 pages and file it once. And that would be a wonderful document. So better we use as the teachers of higher education, especially teacher educators, we can definitely use 10 different techniques. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, 2 ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, 2 ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 3 ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರನೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಿಕ್ಸಪ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಫೈನ್. ನಾವು ಸಿನಾಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಈ ಸ್ಲೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಣ. ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ದಿ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ myself and you as that there are some connections in between. This is the picture of a synapse. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್. ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ನ್ಯೂರಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಪೈನಲ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. And millions of neurons are there like this. And remember, dear friends, neuron is the biggest and longest cell in the human body. You know that cells are microscopic, which can only be seen under microscope or sometimes even electron microscope. But let me tell you, neuron is the largest cell in the human body. Cellgalalle ee brain cells galu. Problem ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, when once neurons die, they never again get rejuvenated. Reproduction ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ಗಳದ್ದು. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಡೆತ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪುನಃ ಅದು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಮ್ಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಒನ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಆಕ್ಸಾನು ಡೆಂಡ್ರೈಟ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ನರ್ವ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಾ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ನರ್ವ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ನರ್ವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ರ ನರ್ವ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಜೊತೆ. ಸೊ ನರ್ವ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ನರ್ವ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನದರ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದೀಸ್ 2 ನರ್ವ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಚಿತ್ರ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ 2 ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್. ಈ ತರ ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನರ್ವ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಪೈನಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಪೈನಲ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸು, ಕ್ರೇನಿಯಲ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸು, ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ದೀಸ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ spread and getting connected like blood vessels. ನಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕೋಶಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ನರ್ವ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನ್ ಬಯಾಲಜಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇನ್ನು ಸಿನಾಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ, ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಂದ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಬರೋಣ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೌ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಸ್ designing connectivity structures, ಆಗಲೇ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಈ ವರ್ಡ್, that fosters learning linkages to promote active teaching learning partnership among students and teachers, both being stakeholders, students with high learning achievement and teachers with improved classroom management. So as educators we need to use a spectrum of pedagogic strategies ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. Now what is synaptic connectivity? ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇನೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಡಂಬಲ್ಸ್ ತರ, ಅದು ನರ್ವ್ ಫೈಬರ್ದು ಎಂಡ್, ನರ್ವ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ನೇ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಆ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ವೈಟ್ ಕಲರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದೇ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಿಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಪುನಃ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಯಾವುದನ್ನ, ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಬ್ರೈನ್, ನರ್ವ್ ಸೆಲ್, ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್, ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಿಗೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಆರ್ ನರ್ವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಟು ಪಾಸ್ ಆನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಆರ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಟು ಅದರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ನರ್ವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನರ್ವ್ ಸೆಲ್ಗೆ ಸಂದೇಶಗಳು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸಸ್ ತರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ವೈರಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವೈರ್ಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಗ್ಗೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ತರ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. Synapse is a junction between two neurons that works as a functional connection between nerve cells and even other cells for effective communication and also a physiological continuity in the nerve network. ಇದು ಬಯಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ nerves should be connected, otherwise the communication will never flow. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ಬಂದು ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ತಂತಿ ತುಂಡಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊಸ ತಂತಿ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವೈರ್ ತುಂಡಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೈರ್ನ ರೀಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲೋ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲೋ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈವನ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಕರೋನರಿ ಆರ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅದು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಆ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು, ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಆವಾಗ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈವನ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್ and connectivity structures should be established, then only teaching takes place and learning takes place. Connectivity as a functional strategy. Nodi function agbeku andre connectivity irbeku anta. A connection strategy is a plan for sustained connectivity of teaching and learning throughout the class or throughout the academic year. A connectivity strategy na find out madbeku iga. Connectivity is the ability to make connections among the different stakeholders and the prime, pivotal, integral dimensions of education. ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು. ನಾನು ಏನೀಗ 4 connectivities ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, they are all pivotal. Pivotal ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Anybody knows? Now we are all coming, important. We are all coming out with 4 things. They are
Pointed.
Yes?
Pointed.
Pointed. Excellent, madam. Thank you so much. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಬುಗುರಿ ಆಡಿಸ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಟಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಬುಗುರಿ ಆಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬುಗುರಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಗಲವಾಗಿ ಉಂಟದು, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಮೊಳೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನೋಡಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಬುಗುರಿ ಆಡಿಸಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ಆ ಮೊಳೆನ ನಾವು ಪಿವೋಟಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ನೇಲ್, ಓಕೆ, ಶೌಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಟಾಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಟಾಪ್ ಈಸ್ ರೊಟೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸೋ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ with the balance on one point of edge on the floor, that is called pivotal point. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬುಗುರಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಮೊಳೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದ 4 aspects which we are dealing with now? Each one is pivotal, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು, ಆಧಾರ ಸ್ತಂಭ. ಇಂಟೆಗ್ರಲ್, ಇಂಟೆಗ್ರಲ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್, ಒಂದಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿವೆ, ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ಔಟ್, ಅಂತರ್ಗತವಾಗಿವೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಮ್, ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು, ಪಿವೋಟಲ್, ಇಂಟೆಗ್ರಲ್ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್. ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಅದು 4 ನೀವೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ? ಒಂದು ಟೀಚರ್, ನಾವೇನೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದು? 3ನೇದು ಯಾವುದು?
Student.
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. Then 4th one?
Community.
Life. That is community, society, life. ನೋಡಿ, 4ನೇ, ಇನ್ನೇನು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೇನಾದ್ರು ಇರ್ಬೋದಾ? ಟೀಚರ್, ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ and students' life in the community. These are the 4 very prime, pivotal and integral dimensions of total education. ಈ 4ನ ನಾವು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. That is a problem. Okay, let us see. However, the most important connectivity is connecting teachers' teaching to students' learning. ನೋಡಿ, ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು. Teacher is not connected to student and teaching is not connected to learning. Teach ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, yes, I have taken a class, I have completed my portions, but whether students have learnt it, that is a $1 million question. If students have not learnt it, though you have physically taken a class, that literally means that you have not taken the class. ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದೀವಿ ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ವೈಸ್ ನಾವು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಇನ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ to make this kind of comment or statement, that some of the teachers, they teach whatever that comes to their mind and come out. So I have seen 2 types of teachers, dear friends. Okay, you may be exceptional. Some teachers go to the class to teach something. Some teachers go to the class to teach something. What is the other category? Right?
Everything.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮೇಡಮ್. ಈ ಕೆಲವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಖುಷಿನೂ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ನಗುನೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ. ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್. ಗುಡ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಎ ಗುಡ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟಿಂಗ್. ಸಮ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ನ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನೋಸೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಗುಡ್. ದೆನ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್? One category of teachers, they go to the class to teach something.
Teach nothing.
ಇದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಎ ವರ್ಡ್ ಗೇಮ್. ಅದೇ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
completely restricted to the syllabus.
Tactics. Some teachers go to the class to teach something. ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ ನಾನೇ ಸೋತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ.
For transferring the notes.
Related to syllabus.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಚಿ ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ಲೇ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಗೇಮ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಗೇಮ್, ವರ್ಡ್ ಗೇಮ್, ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೇಮ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡೋಣ.
Class to preach, not teach.
Okay, rhyming expert. Okay, fine. Then all good answers. May not be the answer which I want ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟೇನೆ, ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, ಸಮ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ನಂದು ಒಂಚೂರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಟು ಟೀಚ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಆ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಯಾವ್ದಿರ್ಬೋದು?
Text book oriented, sir.
ನಾನೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. There are some other teachers who go to the class with something to teach. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ನೀವು. There are teachers who go to the class to teach something. Teaching something is different from something to teach is different. How are they different then?
Something means innovative.
I go to the class to teach something ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಮ್ಮ?
ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಟೈಮ್ ಪಾಸ್. ಆರ್
to teach something andre, it is not structured, it is not need based, it is not properly planned, it is ambiguous, it is vague. Teacher feels that I know the matter well, I can teach well. So without any planning, without any structured vision in the mind, teaching as and when as it comes. As and when as it comes. So how many of us go to the class with, once again, referring to the notes, referring to the source, then making a small note of it, having a small sequence, planning some beautiful quotations or examples or illustrations.
PPT.
Yeah, PPT, whatever it is. So that is, I go to the class with something to teach. That is already planned. It is fixed. So that is very important. So hagagi, I'm sorry if I'm deviating you from the main point. Bad teachers distance, I'm sorry, however, the most important connectivity is teaching and learning. Bad teachers distance themselves from the subject they are teaching and in the process from their students. Now Parker Palmer in the book The Courage to Teach anta ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಪಾರ್ಕರ್ ಪಾಮರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಇದು. Bad teachers distance themselves from the subject they are teaching. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಅವ್ರ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. That is a tragedy. If I am a biology teacher, I should be totally connected to my subject. Then only I can love my subject. I derive pleasure whenever I teach that subject with love. So if I am not connected to my subject, how can I love my subject? How can I teach that in a better way? No. So hagagi, good teachers connect self. ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಗುಡ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನಾವು, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯಾವುದನ್ನ, ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, in the fabric of education for life. Enta wonderful statement idu. Most beautiful statement. Fabric of education for life. Why is education andre esto jana eneno ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Education is for life ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. Education for understanding, education for growth, education for development, education for adjustment, education for all-round development of personality. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಸರಿನೇ. Ultimately ಏನು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ education is ultimately to lead quality life. So life ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, ಎಂತ ಟ್ರಾಜಿಡಿ ಇದು. We are not connecting ourselves to the content, not to the student, not to the life. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೊಂದು ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡೆ. It is difficult to precisely prescribe what constitutes good teaching that results in enhanced learning, since each course, each class, each student and each teacher is different. What is good teaching ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ ಬಿ ಎಡ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್, ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಟೀಚರ್, ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಗುಡ್ ಟೀಚರ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ 100 ಜನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ 100 ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. A good teacher is a good questioner. A good teacher is a human being, excellent human being. A good teacher is empathetic. Athara, it is very difficult. For nodi ನಾವು ಇದು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. I am seeing, don't mistake my statements, many a times the feedback given by the students is subjective. A teacher who is not so good gains more score than another teacher who really teaches well in the class. How is it possible? So there are so many dimensions of teachers which make students think differently, opine differently, decide differently. What is important for them may not be important for others. So hagagi, it is very difficult to prescribe what constitutes good teaching that results in enhanced learning, since everything is different. Good teaching includes, of course, generalized statement ido, good attitude. Attitude towards what? Attitude towards teaching profession, attitude towards subject, good attitude towards student, good attitude towards the college where I am working, the institution which gives me food, which takes care of my family. Attitude towards profession ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ society. ಈ 5 ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ attitude ಇರಬೇಕು ಟೀಚರ್ಗೆ. Attitude towards self, number 1. Good attitude towards subject, good attitude towards profession, student, institution, finally society. 6 dimensions. So good attitude, good presence, okay, good accessibility to students. Presence ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಗಿಂತ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು being physically present, that is very important. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಟೀಚರು, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಟೀಚರು ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. accessibility to students, students should feel it very easy to approach you. ಭಯ ಪಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಸಂಕೋಚ ಪಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಅಥವಾ ಇರಿಟೇಟ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್. ಆ ಥರ ಅಪ್ರೋಚಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಆಕ್ಸೆಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸಸ್, ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟ್, ಎಂಗೇಜಿಂಗ್ ಪೆಡಗಾಗೀಸ್, effective use of technology, appropriate environment, everything should be good. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿಯಪ್ಪ, ಒಂದು ಮೈನ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬಂತೀಗ. ಯಾವುದದು? ಸಿನಾಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಡ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಲಿಂಕೇಜಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್. ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು. Synaptic connectivity in the classroom should be established through learning linkages among the 4 things. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ C4 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇನೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. C1 connectivity 1, self to the content, ಅಂದ್ರೆ teacher to the subject. C2 teacher to the student, ನನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು student. C3 teacher should connect student to the subject. And C4 student should connect subject to the life. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಈಸಿ ಇದೆ, ಸಖತ್ ಈಸಿ ಇದು, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೋರ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್. ನೋಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎ ಟೀಚರ್, ಓಕೆ, ನನ್ನನ್ನೇ ತಗೋಣ, ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಎ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್, ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ರಿಯಲಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್? ನನ್ನ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಯೋಡೇಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ ಯಾರೋ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನಲ್ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ. ಸೊ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಐ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಎಜುಕೇಶನಲ್ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ? ಡೂ ಐ ಲವ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್? ಬೇರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗಿಂತ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರೀತಿಸ್ತೀನ? Do I derive a lot of pleasure when I teach it? How is my content competence with that subject? Do I know everything about it? Do I make my students learn effectively that subject? Have I conducted any research in that subject? Have I extended the frontiers of content of educational psychology? Idella yes, andre you are connected to your subject anta artha. I'm sorry if I'm a little emotional on these things. So basically, first connectivity should be established between teacher and the subject of teaching. Next connectivity ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆನಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ I should be connected to my student. What is that connectivity with the student? Connectivity with the student means both of us should be academic partners. Both of us should like each other, love each other, want each other, depend on each other. Integral, both of us are integrated. ಒಂದರಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತವರು. Intrapersonally and interpersonally very much connected. And we are impregnable. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಒಬ್ರು ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದರಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ನಾವು ಮೆಂಟಲಿ, spiritually, intellectually. Like how we connect Vivekananda Ji Maharaj with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji Maharaj. ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು ಮತ್ತು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಹಂಸರ ನಡುವೆ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು? Plato and Socrates, the best example outside the world we see. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ how are we connected with our students? Is it that only I am connected to student and student is not, or yes? I am okay, you are.
Siripa and Govinda Bhatta sir.
Yes.
Siripa and Govinda Bhatta.
Very good sir. Very good example. I didn't know that sir. Thank you so much. So are we connected with the mind and heart of student? Have we become an integral part of their mind, spirit and body? If not body, at least mind and spirit. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಜನ್ಮ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಾ? ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಾ? ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಗೌರವಿಸ್ತೀವಾ? ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೆಲೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಾ? ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಾ? If we find a difference between my children and my school children, I am not a good teacher. And in fact, please let me tell you that Vidyarthi Devo Bhava. You come to my college and see, in my chamber, behind me, a big board is there. So Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. But for a teacher, student is the God. I don't know why we are forgetting this. If students are not there, can we lead our life? We have got identity in the society because of our students. Students pay the fees, they pay the donation, and the government pays the salary. And our breadwinners are our students who are feeding our own children at home. So should we not think about how ethically and intellectually get connected with our students? Now students ಬೈತೀವಿ, ignore ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, insult ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, irritate ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. A doctor should never get irritated out of a patient because patient gives his life. I mean, in a sense, patient makes his life for a doctor and students are making our life. So, Vidyarthi Devo Bhava, Shikshakanige. Hagagi, teacher should be connected to student. Then, teacher should help student to the subject. This is more connection. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಎರಡು ಟೀಚರ್ದು ರೋಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರೋಲ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಟೀಚರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್. ಮೂರನೇ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದು. ಮೆನಿ ಎ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಟ್ ಆಲ್. ದೇ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ದ ಲೆಸನ್, ಮೇಕ್ ಸಮ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್, ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್. ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ನೆವರ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. If teacher helps the student to get connected with the subject, definitely the student gets lot of interest in the subject and conducts the research even in the subject and extends the frontiers of that subject beyond the teacher. ನೋಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡುವ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗೆ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ, ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. Why many students fail in mathematics? They don't like mathematics. It is not that mathematics is difficult for them. No. Mathematics teacher did not connect student with maths. Some students got connected. Some other students are not connected. They should be taken care. So it is the ethical role of a teacher to connect subject to the student through effective methods of teaching. Then finally, now the role of student, ultimate ido. Ide mukyavadaddu. All the three above should lead to the last one. Finally, student should connect his knowledge or the subject to life in the community. That is application. So, teacher should get connected with the subject. Teacher should get connected with the student. Then, teacher should help student get connected with the subject. And finally, student should be enabled to connect whatever he has learned in the class, applying life. So, many students fail in life because of the last connectivity failure. So, it shall be organic, physiological, and sustainable. Why is it called organic? I said it has what? Organic and living. So how the growing fetus is given nutrition by the mother. Mother is a teacher and growing fetus or embryo is a student. So they are connected organically. That is why our academic partnership in the class or in the school or college throughout the academic year should be living always, should breathe. It should never die. So it is physiological, means it's always to be functional. How everything is absorbed by the blood and taken to all the cells so that cells function. In the same way, whatever you teach during the academic year should be absorbed and made an integral part of the body, mind, and spirit of the student so that he functions in the society. Non-functionable. B.Ed students, for example, let me tell you, out of 100 students, how many students become very functional in education in their life? Even today, 10 years back, I have taught 9.8 CGPA, but student is not having any job. He is spending his time at home doing some agriculture or whatever other things. So that means whatever we have learned or taught is not being functional. Something else is doing. So why people are unemployed? Why they are not having the skill set that they are supposed to have? That means whatever education that is given to them in the school or college is not being functional. So, my dear friends, whatever we teach should become function. Connectivity should be physiological. And finally, it should be sustainable, long-lasting. The impact of your personality, impact of your teaching, impact of your content knowledge should be forever. Even today, we should remember that the teacher who taught us in the NKG or UKG, such a beautiful, high-impact profession. High-impact personality. So like that, it should be sustainable. So these are the things. And this is a very simple diagram which connects all the four: student, teacher, life, subject. All the four should be connected. Otherwise, education is meaningless. Now, self to subject is now 12:57, another 3 to 4 minutes. Whatever I am showing with the slide, I have already told. So connectivity between the teacher and his subject, or her teacher, subject of teaching, pivots on his or her beliefs on. So, nimge belief idya nim subject bagge, knowledge of subject, then emotions on the subject, and 3 C's. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇದು 3 C's. Do you take care of your subject? Do you have concerns on the subject? And are you committed to your subject? Taking care of subject the subject should never come to zero level. Yaru tagolade illa subject na. ಈಗ ನಾನೊಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ. Many students do not like to learn history. History is becoming zero. In some of the affiliated universities in American, history subject is removed. So history is dead there. The subject of history is dead in some of the schools and colleges. In some of the languages are dead. Why? Because the teaching was not interesting. Teacher did not create interest. So students are not opting that. ಈಗ ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮಾರು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವೈ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸಪಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಕೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಬೈ ದ ಟೀಚರ್ ವೈಲ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್, ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಂಥ್ಯೂಸಿಯಾಸಮ್. ಎಂಥ್ಯೂಸಿಯಾಸಮ್ ಯಾವುದು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Yes, this is my subject. This is the subject which is fetching me my food. So what should I do? So cognitive, affective, psychomotor relationships gada illa iga subject jothe. Cognitive relationship andre eno, I should be knowing everything about subject. Affective andre eno, how emotionally I am connected to my subject. Howda? Is there any emotional connectivity between teacher and subject? Is there something like emotional domain on subject?
Yes, sir.
ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? Interest, for example, I have got more interest in my subject ಅಂದ್ರೆ emotionally are connected. I have got appreciation of my subject, that is also affective. Positive emotions, that is also affective domain. I have got lot of values on my subject, that is also affective domain. Psychomotor andre skill based. Cognitive means knowledge wise, affective means emotion wise, psychomotor means skill wise. So with all these dimensions, I should get connected to my subjects.
Sir,
So
may I add something? If
Yeah.
you permit me.
Yes.
Sir, affective domain also incorporates the kind of relationship a student has with the teacher, and that kind of builds an affiliation and engagement with the subject.
Yes, ma'am.
For example, if I may say so, that mathematics teachers are perceived very differently, and therefore the affect towards the subject is also very different among students. It's more of fear.
Yes, yes.
So,
yeah, that fear complex, phobia anta ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು, maths phobia. ಆ phobia ಯಾಕೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ? That means the teacher did not understand properly the mindset of a student, and individual differences are always existing. Okay, you can ask me questions just after 1 or 2 minutes. Teachers shall be conscious about the connection between their learning practices and subject of teaching. ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ನನ್ನ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So last 5 minutes. Subject of teaching is always based on how I practice my learning. ನೋಡಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಟೀಚರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ is reflected in, ನೋಡಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Content competence, 3 C's, the joy or pleasure derived out of my teaching, pedagogical research I have conducted. ಅಂದ್ರೆ pedagogical research ಅಂದ್ರೆ research related to methodology of teaching, that helping students apply the knowledge of my subject, creating interest, igniting inquisitiveness, ಕುತೂಹಲವನ್ನು ಜಾಗೃತಗೊಳಿಸೋದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. If you fail in creating interest and ignite inquisitiveness, you can't continue. So well begun is half done ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ. And kindling enthusiasm, ನೋಡಿ ಎಂತ ಸೌಂಡ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿರಲ್ಲ. ಮಾಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓವರ್ ದ ಡೈನಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಲಿತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಡೈನಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಆಪರೇಷನಲ್ ಡೈನಮಿಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡನೇದು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್, ನನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಯ ನಡುವೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಈಗ ತಾನೇ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಿಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಫಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಹೈ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ leads to better teaching and learning. Andre how I should be connected to student anta bandaga, there are emotional issues, there are cognitive issues, there are so many issues which are related to motivation, kindling interest, idella agutte. Then supportive research findings idella ide nodi. Nange unfortunately the time is up. These are all supportive research findings on the topic which we are dealing with. To build a positive relationship with students, ಟೀಚರ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್, ಟೀಚ್ ವಿತ್ ಎಂಥ್ಯೂಸಿಯಾಸಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾಷನ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡಲ್ಲೂ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 2 types ಆಫ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು one type of teacher is dead. One category is dead teachers. What is the other category?
Leave.
Living? I'll give you 1,000 rupees if you tell me the right answer.
Good teacher.
Give me 100 rupees if the answer is wrong. All answers are correct only, but what I wanted was my preferred answer. So one category of teachers is dead and the other one is deadly. Deadly teachers. So we need deadly teachers. Deadly means somebody who is really fantastic. Somebody who is doing the task with utmost possible, productivity. That is called deadly teachers. So idella ide points kadide. I think 1 o'clock aagta ide 1:04 agutu. Sorry. Then student subject ge hege connect ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು beautiful ಆಗಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. How student should be connected with the subject by the teacher. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೆ. I hope all the states will be shared with you. Then how student should connect subject with the life. That is also very important. So without application in the world, the value of knowledge is greatly diminished. So when knowledge is not spent, not applied, it is of no value. Money earned, if you don't spend, it is no money at all. It is only a paper. It is not currency. So ನಾವೆಷ್ಟು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಕೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಮನಿಗೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಕೂಡ. So why is it so important to apply the gain knowledge? Application of knowledge is necessary to achieve desired results throughout life. So research ಕೂಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. Transfer of learning ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So when your teacher fails to transfer learning to the external world, it is fail. So thank you so much. I'm really sorry I've taken 5 minutes more. Can I expect some questions from your side? Anybody? Was it okay with you? The presentation?
Yes, sir. It's a very nice, informative presentation, sir.
Yes, sir. It's very informative session.
Sir, along with the 3P and as well as 3C, we can add 3D also, sir. Discipline, dedication, and determination. Then the definitely teacher will become an effective teacher, and from that teacher to the deadly teacher.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct, sir. You are right, sir. Definitely. Definitely.